I'm Kumar RAKESH and you're watching Global Governance News TV. Today we're going to discuss the political fights on Hindutva in Bharat. And as we know it and as you understand it, how the Hindutva is going to plank now. 7, 8 years back, no one wanted to discuss the Hindutva. Within 7, 8 years, just to have seen the political arena, everyone for Hindutva. Either you take the AAP party, either just you see Congress party, either even see the any party, even the left parties also, they are also confused how to do it, why to do it, how to just going to adopt the Hinduism and Hindutva. And recently, why just keep this program, Uddhav Thackeray, I think his identity, I'll say, son of respected Balasaheb Thackeray. I met 3 times to Honorable Balasaheb Thackeray. He is, he was an icon of Hinduism and Hindutva in the world, not in Bharat. Although just he has whatever give the line of action for the Hindu and Hindutva uncomparable till now. But very sorry to say, his son is now Chief Minister of Maharashtra. He just already just managed just for only for the power, for the sake of the selflessness. He has left Hindu and although criticizing the BJP and RSS about the Hinduism. And what they said, we know how just ex-Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis reacted. Comments so that he was frustrated by his party, finishing fourth in recent Nagar Panchayat local body polls. Recently, on 9th January, the result was there. Shiv Sena was the fourth position, and BJP is only single largest party, getting 384 seats. And as we know it, addressing the Shiv Sena event yesterday on 23rd, Uddhav Thackeray, the birth anniversary of Balasaheb Thackeray, he said 25 years Sena is spent with BJP and ally were in West. And Sena has left the BJP, not Hindutva. I believe BJP opportunistic Hindutva is only for power, Mr. Uddhav Thackeray commented. Then Devendra Fadnavis said Chief Minister comments showed that he was frustrated by party finishing fourth in the Nagar Panchayat polls. And where you are, when Ram Janmabhoomi campaign, we took the bullets and lathis. Today, Ram Temple is being built at Ayodhya under the leadership of PM Modi. Mr. Fadnavis said BJP and Sena just fell out over the power sharing after the 2019 Maharashtra poll. The Sena tied with the ideologically opposite NCP and Congress to form Mahavikas Aghadi. I can show the NCP, not nationalist Congress party, so-called nationalist party. On the Ram Temple, Uddhav said this is made by the instruction of Supreme Court, not by the Narendra Modi and Narendra Modi government. So he had discussed to how just a political plan is now the every political party is soft and hard Hindu for, and everyone need to demonstrate their Hindu affiliation. Why and what for? If I remember when I interviewed L.K. Advani, then he said already that time the polarization of the politics, Congress and other parties. Now BJP and others now shifted the paradigm shift Hindutva and all other parties. So we can understand how our Hinduism is going to be strong. So welcome in this thoughtful discussion, Mr. Vandana Jhingan from Chicago, senior journalist, social activist. Hemant Patel ji, social activist from the USA. Nanda Shandilya ji, just going to be the US ambassador on the peace and so many chairs. Recently, or congratulates for going to be the assistant secretary general with the UN affairs. So Nanda ji, so nice of you, just joined the show, basically by engineer. And Neera Patel, living and he's already for the advocate for the overseas friends of BJP, living in Chicago, and social workers and the entrepreneur, and Alok Lahad, senior journalist from Spain, and Anita Chaudhary ji from Bharat, the land of the Kashi. Now he is joining the show recently in Banaras, we can say now. So all of you are welcome, and one of more guests will join here. So now I start from the Vandana ji, with the land of the Swami Vivekanand, who started Hindu campaign 1893, 125 years ago, and just we are now talking about the Hindu.
Namaskar to all my co-panelists. And Anita ji, you have to bring my dhaga from Kashi. Once I see you, I'll take it. Thank you. Namaskar.
Sure, Vandana ji, certainly, I will keep it with me.
Thank you.
And whenever we will meet, or Rakesh ji will go to you. I will send it.
No, we'll go with Chicago. Don't worry. All the Chicago person are here. Not only
dhaga, I will send the bhabut also.
Thank you. I have three panelists. We three Sanatanis are here with I am here with my two brothers from Chicago. And we were the people who did World Hindu Congress, the second World Hindu Congress, as here in Chicago. And then 2021, they always say 21 is very auspicious. We always being Sanatanis like adding on one. So first Hindu Heritage Month was done in 2021, which was in US and Canada. Now we are going to rope into Alok ji also in Spain. We are getting ready. I'm going to get you on the board for 2022 with a big bang. Let's start with this, the biggest joker on, the penguin, why he's been named like that, to be honest. I am not very sorry to say, because I am known to speak out my mind and my heart out. This is so shameful that we have been talking about. If there is a provision that somebody can go and check with the people, those who are not with us physically alive, so I would be the first person to go and interview Bal Thackeray ji and ask about his production, whom he's bought. He will be so very ashamed, to be very honest, the eldest son, Uddhav Thackeray, is a shameless fellow. I cannot even imagine. I have so much of respect for his father when we were small little kids, and then the Ram Janambhoomi thing was happening, and then you come, he should have taken the torch further. I'm going to speak very less today because I want to give chance to my other co-panelists. He should have been the torch bearer. They always say, take like the legacy forward. But what he has done, it is not that he has stalled it there. He is going into the minus and reverse. So which is very, very shameful. And he would have been national leader he's expecting to be. I think in the coming years, we will see his political career. And because if you have these kind of leaders, you can very well imagine, because he is a pawn of Mataji Sundari Sonia Gandhi, to be honest. वो जो कहती है उसी के पत्तों पे चलते हैं. So that is not going to happen, because the leadership demands for you to take a stand. If you became a chief minister, you should not be getting the dictation in the morning, afternoon, evening, and night from the headquarters and work on it. Thank you very much.
I think Vandana is very angry today just with the act of Mr. Uddhav Thackeray.
Act on not because he has touched Hindutva. That's what I'm angry.
Yeah,
And I said that if I get a chance, I will go to his father with my microphone and ask about the delivery of his son.
No, actually, his father is not alive. So you have to go to meet, you have to stay in the next 40, 50 years here on the earth. So that please stay with us. So you have a lot to do for the Hinduism, Hindutva. Hemantji, how just you think to analyze the reaction and whatever for the selfishness, the statement of Uddhav Thackeray about Hindutva? Unmute yourself, Hemantji. Unmute yourself, please. Yeah, thank you.
Namaste, everybody. First of all, I have highest form of respect for Baba Saheb Thackeray. But Uddhav, I think he became chief minister by betraying Hindus, and he used BJP. So his betrayal is probably one of the biggest betrayal that Hindus have faced. And I think he's getting those bad results already in the panchayat, and now he's dreaming about a national level. I think that is the biggest his foolishness. And as far as the topic is about Hindutva, I consider this is like the international conspiracy for Hindus. Until now, Hindus were oppressed. 400 million Hindus have been killed, and Hindus gradually have started to counter, and now that is considered as Hindutva, and we are demonizing all over the world, not only in India, even in USA. There was a conference for among 48 universities, and the topic was to dismantle Hindutva on the anniversary of 9/11. What can be worse than that? So this is these people, these all politicians are falling into trap of this international conspiracy against Hindus. We should be aware of it and we should work on that. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So, Nandaji, how just you think and analyze things? The present situation of this new political scenario.
Yeah, I agree with most of the points both our panelists expressed, except that again, choice is personal choice. But again, without going into some kind of one side or other, if you look at the whole 9 yards, so basically Hinduism is the first child of Sanatana Dharma. And if you look at the description of God or godliness, the first script was written 7,000 years ago, Rig Veda. The description of that one line, how you describe God, is exactly translated and copied to for 7,000 years later, first by Christians, and then in the name of Jesus. Again, godly figures come and go, but we need to get to the source of this problem. And then after 500 or 600 years later, then Islam came into pictures due to Middle Eastern world, and they also exactly describe the God. Exactly, the line is translation is different, but the exact meaning, if you take that source, it's exactly defined. So somebody defined one in 7,000 years, one in 2000 or 1 BC, and one in 673 AD. So if you look at it, the fundamental description of God and values are exactly the same, and we always work on 10,000 feet and try to boil down issues which are irrelevant, and for politicalizing and all that. And coming to the situation of in Mumbai or Maharashtra, obviously it is the biggest betrayal, and they could have honorably and disqualified or given up their seats and then go for re-election, and then they get a clear and clean mandate. Obviously it didn't happen. And then the biggest issue I see is like our Hemanji mentioned, 500 million Hindus were killed. Another thing Hemanji missed is another 500 million converted in the last 1500 years. And then again, people ask me, where is the proof? The proof is there all over. And so almost 1 billion people, half of them are killed mercilessly. Another 500 million are converted. And then they come and give us lectures about peace and all that, And there is a three, let's understand our flaws, limitations, and our weakness, The limitations and flaws, again, I'm not, a saint, but I'm looking at both sides, because again, I have friends, Christian friends, great friends, and Muslim friends. But every time I get into, first of all, I'll avoid the religious discussion. But if I have to do it, then I'll do it to the core. They can, they get the basic ground line. So the point here is, like all these things we talk, but nobody addressed the core issue. The core issue is getting the religious, talk or religious things in a public places. Basically, I would even recommend, again, at a UN, I'm getting this, at a UN level, so that the religious is a personal choice. It has to be restricted to your mandir or bedroom or house, and any public or any corporate level, there is no, everybody should be treated equal. And that's the only way we can address it, a uniform civil code or whatever you call. The point is, again, we talk about it. And other thing, the flaws within our community is there is no unity. Everybody, they worry about tiny little things, and they never get along. And if you look at Muslims or Christians or even Chinese, I would say, the brotherhood or sisterhood or
But
communityhood.
Nandaji, I may just the political fights of the on the Hindutva. Hindutva is a center point. Just all is trying to grab. Now we are Hindu. We are the real Hindu, and the rest are the unreal and the true and false. So Nirav has worked a lot on the ground level, and just Nirav Patel has seen the both very closely, Shiv Sena as well as BJP. And power and without power. How do you analyze the relation of Nirav, Shiv Sena and BJP and on the ground level as well as the political level?
Kumar, Rakesh ji and everyone, namaste. My view is I have worked closely with the Shiv Sena when I was in the college in India and my student life. And even that time, Shiv Sena was a very favorable to the Hindus. They are always talk about the Hindus till the Bala Sahib ji is there. He is always supporter of the Hindutva Sangh and BJP, and his thought and BJP and Hindutva thoughts, they are all same. There was no difference. It's all very perfectly synchronized. But somehow, if you have seen 3 years back, the Maharashtra election happened, and Shiv Sena get uh, a good mandate from the people. But those mandate came as a BJP alliance. Those mandate did not came as the Congress alliance.
You're right.
And
You're
they
right.
are sitting on right now the mandate of BJP alliance. They are not sitting on the mandate of NCP and the Congress alliance right now. So whatever the power and whatever this idea they are showing and whatever the ideology Shiv Sena is trying to put on the people, people are not agree. The Maharashtra people are not agree with that. And you will see within 2 years how the Shiv Sena will be get thrown out by the Maharashtra people. And whatever the statement today Uddhav Thackeray is given is all political. He has been told, he has been forcefully told to give this statement. If this point Bala Sahib ji is there, he might have resigned from his position, or he might have tell him to resign the position and stop being a puppet of some other rich political parties.
Okay, I got it. Alok Lahad, how does Nirav is said, and very just systematically, and then they come to Anita ji after that. So I think you also have to go somewhere. Alok ji, how does you can imagine the illiterate Rahul Gandhi can be compared with the son of a literate person or like Uddhav Thackeray?
I kind of find both. I find both of them in the same boat.
Okay.
I don't think the unfortunate part is that Uddhav Thackeray ji, his father was a lion. And if we talk about Maharashtra, we'll probably talk about Shivaji. Maharashtra is a great place. It has produced some of the greatest nationalists we've had. We have to talk about Shivaji there. We have to talk about Bal Thackeray ji there. But then when you see somebody like, him, then you don't feel anything else, but you feel pain. So, at least he's had a very worthy father. Normally, they say that the third generation, if the father sets up a business, the grandfather sets up the business, the father takes it further, and the grandson, he, finishes this off. But in this case, it's the second generation. I can understand that in case of Rahul Gandhi, but in this case, it's just the second generation. So he should have taken it further, but it is so unfortunate, like Mr. Patel said, that he has been, he's walking actually on crutches. So on one side we have, Sonia ji, and on the other side we have, another party which is supporting them in the sense that he's not walking on his legs. And the one leg he's walking on, he owes the second leg to BJP, because had it not been for the popularity and the support which BJP provided to Shiv Sena in Maharashtra, they would not have won. And as he's saying that they are going to lose. But we have to understand another thing. It is not only them. There was a time when there were people who were asking does Ram even exist? Or is he a fictitious character? Now the same people, they are coming down and saying, Ram sabhi ke hai. I mean, this is not possible. Now what is happening is, they are always criticizing when they have been, polarizing the world. They have been dividing the Hindu society into caste, creed, color, north, south, Hindi belt and the non-Hindi belt. They were dividing this and they were consolidating their vote banks. And basically the two vote banks we can talk about is the Islamic vote bank, the Muslims, and they also created this Dalit vote bank. Now what happens is, if the Hindus start to unite and they forget their caste, you don't go and vote your caste, you cast your vote and you unite in the name of Hinduism or Hinduism. Forget Hinduism. We need some more time to discuss what is the concept of it. Just imagine in India, where we have so many people, so many races, so many castes, creed, whatever you want to call it, so many languages. The only one uniting force is Hinduism. Otherwise, you tell me what is common between a person from Kerala to Kashmir, or let's say what is common between Tamil to, let's say, if we are talking in Bhojpuri, there is nothing common in them. But there is only one common thread which is uniting all the states, and the whole culture of India is united under this one religious pattern which we follow. It could be the names could change from one place to the other, or the figures could change. It could be Jagannath in Odisha, and it could be Gopal or Krishna in Mathura. Yeah. But then the philosophy is there, the faces might change, the concept remains the same. So the images are changing, the language is changing, but in spite of the fact that is the uniting factor, people don't even understand what this Hindutva is about. So it is the uniting factor which is there. We always talk about we are one, but everybody is different, but still we are one. So this is this oneness we are talking about. There are so many beads there, but the uniting factor, the thread which is going within these little beads is the concept of Hinduism. Now, once they have seen that if the Hindus are uniting and they unite together, then all these vote banks, they will go for a toss. Nobody is going to give them vote, or even if they do a mass voting, it will be irrelevant, because if all the Hindus are going to vote for one party, the other vote banks become irrelevant. So they have understood that. So the same guys used to put on these skull caps. Now they're coming up with a tilak and they're putting the Rudraksh mala, and they're saying, I have seen Superman who wears his underwear on top of his trousers. I've seen that, but now I'm seeing Supermen who, what they're doing is they're putting Janyo on top of their suit. Where have you seen this? Where have you seen somebody who's got a Janyo? He's putting it on top of
Alok, you are going to criticize 137 years old party. That's not that old Congress. This is now Sonia Italian Congress. I'm not going on that.
And 50 plus years youth.
I'm coming to Alokji.
50 plus years youth.
Anita is from the land of Kashi, just Banaras, or the base of the Bhagwan Lord Shiva on the ground level. And now in UP, the battleground has been 80 versus 20. So I'll just take the special comments from Anita ji, who is a political analyst and journalist, and has seen Shiv Sena, BJP, and very closely covered last more than 25 years. So Anita ji, how just you define the 80-20 and how just define the Uddhav Thackeray and the versus BJP? How? Thank you, Anita ji. Please. Anita ji.
Maybe because I am traveling, so there might be some kind of a network problem you will get. So I apologize for that. But
no problem.
But I will finish my word in very short, saying that we have spoiled our 25 years with BJP. The Hindu Hriday Samrat, Bala Sahab Thackeray, he is a born child of BJP only, the RSS only, because the ideology of RSS is Hinduism. Or I totally disagree with the Hinduism or Hindutva exists in this world. It the feminism is. So if I am a Hindu, the Hinduism is my aura,
Okay.
identity. So I am Sanatani. Sanatani is my root, and the Hindu is my whole tree. That whole tree, one branch is Shiv Sena in this tree. And Raja Uddhav Thackeray is saying like, if you're wrong, Rakesh ji, when Bala that time there always we were running news that who will Thackeray के बाद कौन संभालेगा? It was all media. He was not a liable. He was not a capable son of Bala Saheb Thackeray. Raj Thackeray has spoiled because of the hatred kind of politics of against the Purvanchali and Bihari. And Uddhav Thackeray everyone was saying on that time also that Uddhav Thackeray is a kind of a pappu. He cannot be a political person, and it has proven now he cannot be. In these days, when he has taken command of that Maharashtra, and after this we are witnessing that how he is digressing the Shiv Sena. Shiv Sena is the identity of Hindu. Shiv Sena is an identity of Sanatani.
But we may correct it. Shiv Sena was now. Please. Yeah.
I believe the Shiv Sena is of Bala Thackeray. I don't believe the Shiv Sena is of Uddhav Thackeray. Uddhav Thackeray is a greedy person. Uddhav Thackeray is a greedy person without any vision. He don't have the mind. He don't have the intellectual spark, and he has no political vision. So he is totally bonded with his wife and son, and he is thinking that because with the support of Congress and NCP, he will go his life will be so he will run so far in this politics. It's not possible. Whenever the Shiv Sena, whenever the NCP or Congress will get chance, they will throw out this Uddhav Thackeray like हम लोग कहते हैं ना कि दूध से मक्खी निकाल के फेंक दो, तो वो ऐसा हो जाएगा. And he is not a capable politician, so he is not able to handle all these kind of meshed internal politics. So Bala Saheb, it's better for Uddhav Thackeray that he should follow the path of Bala Saheb Thackeray and come with the BJP. And अब कोई तो deputy CM भी नहीं उनको देगा. He has to now accept that okay, I'm in government. It's good for me. Not nowadays he's not in scene. So there are lots of things we should not take seriously Uddhav Thackeray, because now he is just spoiling the future of Maharashtra, and he has just finished the Shiv Sena, and it's very bad for the country, because these regional parties are the flavor of the India. India has different states, and these regional parties, they are the foundation of the local people. But the kind of politics they are running, either it's Shiv Sena or Sapa or RJD or any other party, they are just spoiling the regional issues, and the people are getting very disappointed. I'm really very disappointed the kind of statement Uddhav Thackeray is giving, but it was but obvious that Uddhav Thackeray will speak like this only because he has no vision. He's a mindless person.
Okay, Anita ji has made the very valid point that just after break I'll come to Vandana ji and Nanda ji, Nirav ji and Hemant ji. He has just coined a new word. Uddhav Thackeray is also a pappu. And whatever they claimed, and the same like Rahul Gandhi, just that coined by his party chief in Punjab, Mr. Sidhu. And number three, also BJP, Shiv Sena has claimed that BJP used as like a slave and also believe in use and throw policy. After the break, I'll come to you, then you'll continue, carry on.
Because the network is so poor, so I am just exiting myself. I am just...
Okay, we'll come after break. Vandana ji, how just Anita ji says, I think Uddhav Thackeray is like the pappu. And Pappu is a coin just for the Rahul Gandhi. If you say any Pappu in India, just go, oh, you're talking about the Rahul Gandhi. One. And also Shiv Sena also blame the BJP blame and use and throw policy. And just he also treated like the slave, the junior party. How do you just analyze and how do you react? Vandana.
Namaskar again. As you did, she did mention, because there cannot be only one Pappu because there are the degrees of Pappus, Pappu number 1, 2, 3, and many more to come, because there are so. And if we are seeing it, I'm just So
please,
wherever we are seeing the dynasty thing, if you just see that, that is what is taking India to a strike, to be honest, because we do see jumping the ships. And this is like, people enjoy how this before the elections, Nandaji, what happens, like, it is very shameful. It's so distrustful to the voter. You cannot even imagine. 5 साल मलाई खाते हैं, फिर उसके बाद में दूसरी पार्टी पे, and then as this is a biggest betrayal in the history, means like when you talk about, if he had balls, like he should have stepped down. He wanted to be his, means like, lifetime dream to be the CM. He knew that he will never be able to do on his own. For how many days? Almost a month that this was delaying, like, because, and the other people were looking for someone that they can make a topi onto his head. This be Sharad Pawar and Mataji from race course, that Sonia Gandhi's company and gang.
Janpat, so they Mataji from Janpat.
Yeah. So they got someone whom they know, like, because they are very capable of it. Because Sonia has a very good experience with dealing with somebody who was there for 10 years as the leader of the country, to be honest. And they need someone who can just speak what they want him to be. He has become a mouthpiece of them, because, and see, image of their own. They just want to be, and using him, he's not able to realize. So that itself very well defines. You tell me today, Vandana ji, you have to speak this. Give me a script that you speak out. Am I stupid that I will not read? I may have high respect for you, but I will not, unless or until it goes with my consensus, with my conscience. आप मुझे कल लिख करके दे दो कि गाली दो हिंदू, मैं आपको दूंगी, not to the one that you have written. So at least when we are talking that you are dealing with the financial capital, Maharashtra, they call it like financial capital of country, and you have that kind of person who's leading it. We all know that. We saw what happened during the first pandemic wave. We know what happened in the second wave, and we know what's going on now too. So this is the leadership. And as Nirav did mention, just wait and watch. It is a matter of only few years, and he will see his fate.
Okay. Hemanji, just theoretically, you see, just on the issues of Hindutva, how does it go with the facts? Now, the Hindutva center point of view, either in Bharat or any part of the world. And the main reason is the Prime Minister is from that background. Other way, just you are all just actively participating in all the works, just promoting the Hinduism and just the Hindutva and whatever you are thinking and living in the life. So how does you analyze now the, I think, status of Hinduism in USA and other parts has just whatever you have realized, what would have feel?
See, first of all, India is called, I am not even saying now that India is a secular country. India is called, at least in the constitution, it is called secular country. So being a secular country, we should not have this discussion today. But unfortunately, we are doing this discussion because we are forced to do that. We being Hindus, we always believe that Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, and we believe in the highest form of secularism, but that was misused all these years. Hindus, being 80% Hindus in India, they are living as a second citizen, and now we are forced to react. and now that reaction is called Hindutva, and that has triggered the international browsing. Now the international people are worried that Hindus have started to react, and they are demonizing us on the name of Hindutva. So the international community is reacting on our reaction, but they don't want to see the action that trigger the reaction. So that is
Okay.
very unfortunate part. And as far as this Uddhav Thackeray is concerned, you see, he is sitting or he is aligning with the party which openly claims that they believe in the religious ideology that has killed 500,000 Hindus. They are in the lap of that party which believes, and they have killed 500,000 Hindus, and they are always going against the Hindus' interest. All this year, all these 73 years, they have always been against the Hindus' interest. I mean, there is a big list. I don't want to spend that. So he is really a mockery for Hindus. He is the biggest betrayal, and Hindus should not tolerate.
Okay. So nicely pointed out, Hemanji, India is land of secularism. I don't agree with personally. This is my personal opinion. As a citizen of the country, India, that is a Bharat. It is so ridiculous. The one country, two name by the former makers of the constitution of the India, that is a Bharat. These two names. And so I'll take Nandaji on the theoretical point. Whatever is secularism has just included in the a part of the Indian constitution, the year of 1976. One, that year was a year of emergency. That year of the late Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, who just on her behest and on the autocratic way, she imposed the secular word on the face and heart of the India and Bharat. That was not acceptable, not passed by the parliament. But since 1976 till 2022, more than 47 years, we have been just going on and carried without any means. Secularists and minorities should not be together. But why? I just appeal to this government also, and all that we believe in the Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, as Hemanji said. I totally agreed. That is not a face, that is not a character of the India, that is a Bharat of the secularism. Sorry, but I think this connectivity is gone. So I'll take the if Anandaji is now connected. So yeah. Nandaji, how does that define? Do you think the secularism and the minority appeasement should go together? One. And why the Hindus a second-class citizen in the land of Hindus in Bharat? Two. I'll also take the reply from Nida, the same question.
Yeah, I'll take a few minutes. So let's take 2 steps back, Rakesh ji. So when we got the independence from British, there was a clear voting done for a separate country. One is called Islamic country, and one is called Hindustan. So there is a voting done. 99% of Muslim League voted for a separate country, and then there was some terms and conditions met, and some of the people who have land and houses on the Islamic side of the country, they have
Nandaji, please correct your frame just closely, please. Your face is not properly seen.
So the point is, when 99% of Islamic Muslim League were voted for a separate country, only 1% did not vote. By the time 6 months or 1 year, basically that 1% has converted into 10%. So 10% of Islamic or Muslims decided to stay back because they don't want to lose their identity of their father, grandfather, forefathers, and they decided to stay back in India. And because we, for Sanatana Dharma followers, we actually, basically, everybody comes, we treat them as guest. Our God is guest is God, kind of a thing, and we let it go. When the separation happened, Hindus were not asked, because they are majority at that point, 90%. They were not asked to vote. When the 10% decided to stay back, even then that was not asked whether these 10% are legally allowed to stay in the country. And that 10% has become today 20%, in the matter of 73 years. So the point is, whereas if you look at on the other side, Islamic country, they had almost 41% of Hindus on that side, and today it became 1% due to killings, conversions, whatnot. So this is the message we need to take it to not only one country but all 193 countries, at least the top 50 countries at UN. Just data is the data and logic. That's all. And the root cause of the problem. Data, logic. Again, I'm putting my IT architect brain and all that. But the point is, 76 is the word he introduced secular, because of that emergency. And it's unfortunate she didn't put a note. It has to be only until emergency, or after emergency it goes back or fall back to the original constitution. So that kind of things never thought, nobody argued, and or nobody, there was no support also. Somebody can question her because she was already running the country as a sole leader and with low or no opposition. So the point is, to address this, things again, again, if there should be a uniform
Yeah.
civil code. Otherwise, these numbers, what we are seeing, on one side you have a religion which promotes 4 marriages and unlimited kids. On other side, you have 1 marriage and 1 kid or 2 kids, and basically this whole math is wrong completely. Unless there is the basics of humanity are equal to every religion and every citizen. Obviously these numbers will rule out in 50 years or 500 years or 20 years, and everybody becomes minority. The point is, if you need to question every Muslim, you go back 4 generations or 5 generations, your DNA, you check your DNA, you were Sanatani to begin with. And there is a
Okay.
concept or a new religion created. If you want to follow, yes, you'll have a freedom of choice, but they need to be educated. 99 or 90% of the minorities are uneducated. They don't even know what they're doing. If somebody read Quran or Bhagavad Gita, they will never hurt anybody, even by words. Forget about with a tool or a gun or a knife. If somebody read
Okay.
any of these books, Bible or Quran, or completely, and understood the concept of it, they won't even abuse other person or other animal or other tree, because it's all one and oneness and one and the same. Everybody
Okay.
has a soul, everybody has a intellect, everybody has an identity, everybody has a mind, or the, whatever you call, whether it's animal, or again, you can argue plants do not have it, but plants, they
Okay.
have their intelligence in their own way as per God creation. So at the
Okay.
physical level, we are different, we are height different, or DNA or different. But if you look at the soul level, the soul a tree has, a animal has, and a person has is exactly the same. A soul is a form of energy. So that message has to be clear and crisp, and bring the people from different religion, unify them for resolving the issues like economy or employment or
Okay.
industries or commerce, trade. Those are the real problems to increase or to upgrade your lifestyle and living on this planet, honestly.
Okay, thank you. Vandana ji. Just your case in a very theoretical way, and the oneness is the theme of the Hindutva, Sanatana Hindutva culture, that we know it, number one. But and just we are living the global village, Vasudev Kutumbakam, Udar Charita Nantu Vasudev Kutumbakam, that also know it, world know it. Neeraj ji, how just and talking of the DNA, our RSS chief, Dr. Mohan Rao Bhagwat ji already said the whoever living in Hindu and Muslim living in Bharat, the DNAs are same. And that is also truth. If you're going to check the DNA, all are just Hindus. No Hindu, Muslim, and other caste. That is also a matter of fact, scientifically, whatever he had made a statement. So, Neeraj, how just you analyze the situation, Hindu DNA of the Hindu Muslim one, and how just all person are going to coming to attract the Hinduism, just election plank nowadays. All are just became to we are the leader of the Hindus. Why not? What for? What's the reason behind it? How do you analyze?
Your Sanatan Dharma is a very open.
Yeah.
Like anyone can accept, anyone can exit. So that is the reason a long time back when Mughals come and Jatkhorians comes, they have a different way to introduce their religious. Uh, majority they have done it brutal way in India. So our religious give at least some freedom to all these people, that they temporarily they change that religion at that time to save their life and their woman's life and their family lives. But they thought this wave will go away. But this wave was there for 2, 3, 400, 600 years. Slowly, all these people they forgot their DNA, they forgot their history. Uh, all this all these attackers who came in a Bharatvarsh. I'm not talking about just a Bharat. I'm talking about Bharatvarsh. Bharatvarsh is all the way to the Iran. They all came there. Uh, they keep destroying the Indian history. Why they are destroying the Indian history? Because long time back, some of their intelligence they says that the Brahmins in India they come, they never change their religious. They come for die, they die, but before they die, they put that kind of fire that they cannot control it, and that fire is still here. The, and that is the reason we are all still Hindu. If those our purvaj, our great grandfathers were not there, we are still not Hindu. So our religious, the freedom of our religious still alive, and that is the reason people has changed their religious and they went to other religious, Muslims, Sikhs, not well, they become Muslim, they become Christians, they take they accept other religions. So if you count the DNA, if you check the DNA will give their family history, and they can tell them they are all Arya, and they are all Dravids, and they are all Hindu.
Vandana. Now, I'm just going to finalize the discussion. Nanda ji, Nirav ji, talking about the informed civil code. Also, issue in the present government in Bharat, Modi government. Do you think the next step for the population control and informed civil code, if they'll pass, just that is a solution for many problems? Do you think the government will come with new bills?
Kumarji, I'm going to
Namaskar.
give my view that I don't think so. Any of government can come with this kind of decision, because it is a completely attack on the freedom of their life. And I am sure our beloved Supreme Court and some of the specialists of the Supreme Court justice and lawyers, they will jump in. And if even government bring this kind of law to control the births and control the families, uh, this guy is going to be jumped. They really don't care for country. They don't care for religious. They don't care for how they're gonna feed them, how they're gonna raise them, what is gonna happen tomorrow. But I am sure for to please the minority, they are going to jump in that, and they are going to drag this issue at the other end. So
Okay.
I am not thinking that anything. I don't think so. Anything coming in this near future, for sure.
Vandana ji, what do you think?
Namaskar again. A country we are celebrating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, 75 years of India's independence. The draft for the UCC is not even yet ready. I mean, the party which ruled for almost 65 plus years, I must say that, and they need to be blamed. And Nandaji did mention 1947. I do have two people living in my home, my mother and father. They have seen that separation. They became refugees, like, when they came. And this was done on the basis of religion, to be honest. We have started just seeing, we just celebrated the 125th birth anniversary of our first Prime Minister, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. we because the new generation, otherwise, like, if it would have not been there, people would have started calling this Mulayam Singh Gunda as a Netaji. Now people know who the real Netaji is, what he has done. So bringing and reviving, but the question is, who will bell the cat? It is going to be a very tough decision. And another thing which I'm going to be appealing the people through this media. Now is the time to come out and speak, because we saw that it was for 1 year plus few months of the farmers' bill. The farmers' protest only came from 2.5 states where the maximum farmers got benefited. Why they never came and did any rally in the support of it, that we do have benefit out of this. So it is the time for the silent majority to come out and make sure the violent minority doesn't win. If the government is taking some decisions, it is a time to speak out. We can just be on fingers, and no, we have to come out even on the streets and accept that right is right. And as Nandaji was mentioning about, like, genocides, we do have to make sure, because the UN has either, if UN has to have, we need to have a real United Nations which can act on it. Means not on the payroll of certain nations, to be honest. They have to see who has really faced the plight. If we are seeing it, the Holocaust, so we must see the genocides of Hindus over the centuries, to be honest. Thank you.
So nice of you, all of you, just you all just put your views and share your view on the Hindutva, how the political fights, and just who is claiming for the Hindutva is now a new case, just for the research for those parties who have been till now just were anti-Hindus and not supporting the cause of Hindus and Hindutva, but all are just trying to snatching the plank to each other. It means Hinduism is growing, the power of Hinduism is growing now. And just going to finish, I'll take the 20-second, both of you, Anandaji and Vandanaji.
Yeah.
So
I want to clarify, Vandana mentioned why the silent majority never comes out. The reason for that is very simple. This minority fund few million. I know the people, four, or I can count on my two hands. These are the 4 to 10 people who fund from the Islamic organizations, and they fund and they make the policies, they make these movements. I have seen it many years ago, and that's when I shifted my alliance, being a Democratic Party for 16 years in US. I shifted that when I saw this is unrepairable, unimaginable, and all that. And that's the only reason, actually, I would, through this forum, and I know Rakesh ji has access to PMO and everybody. And thanks to Rakesh ji, I had an opportunity and to meet and greet Prime Minister Modi back in 2015, and even spend 8 to 10 hours being next to him within a arm distance. That was my biggest lesson of my life, the way he worked, that 10 hours with maybe 30 minutes sleep or nap time and some food. In the 10 hours, the way he functioned is like, even I'm talking, I'm getting goosebumps in my body now. And that I've seen it in my personally, thanks to Rakesh ji, that credit I give it to him, because I was in VIP section, but never to the access what he got, getting into the hotel room, and as well as going to 5 different companies, because I have registered for one event at Facebook only, as my friend Mark invited, and I was part of the Facebook team. But I could go to other events, and that experience, I'm telling, the only missing part from the Hindu community is, if somebody spending few million X number, we got to match, and it's completely 100% legal in USA to do lobbying. And that is the missing part, I would say, because we don't match. When you want to cut a diamond, you need a diamond. That is what is missing in this world.
No, that so nice, Nandaji. That is the greatest of our Prime Minister Narendra Bhai Modi, how he interact to any Indians, any Bharatiya, in the name of just development and the promotion, whatever they have done. So this is all credit to you and credit to our global leader. I say always him. our Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So, Vandana, something you want to add? Just going to
I
now.
said, adding to Nandaji, I do miss my ex-president, who was the one championed, who said first time in the history that the religion of terrorism, he just named it very openly. So it is a time for the world leaders to come out. Don't do lip service, because
Yeah,
we are
yeah.
sitting on a
Agreed.
volcano which can
Agreed.
erupt any moment.
Agreed.
Just adding few words
Please,
on
please.
Vandanaji's statements. India has already asked UN to recognize religiophobia, right? Means there is a phobia happening for all religion, not only Islamophobia. Now, this is the first time I'm making this statement that now it is time for UN to consider there is an ideology exists that openly teaches and preaches to kill the people from other religions. So it is time for UN to look into this. There are thousands of videos available to back what I am saying. Thank you.
Now, that is pointed to, and I'll appeal to Mr. Nandaji, is going to be the part of the UN mercenaries and the official who raised is the voice of the all Hindus living in the more than 125 countries in the world, and all are dominant and the powerful wherever they are, just like you, and all the system and all the concerned system. So nice, Hemanji. That is also a matter of concern and issue. So, but whatever I'm just to a political fight, that is for the political fight to access, just to grab the plank. What is going to be powerful now? Hindus are awakened from the Bharat to different part of the world, and that's why the other party has come in the row just to carry out the "We are Hindus." That is our success mantra. This is success story, and going on and carry on. So nice of you participate in the show. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Jai Hind. Bharat.
Jai Hind. Thank you, Rakesh ji. Thank you, everyone.
Jai Hind.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Rakesh ji. Thank you, Vandana ji. Jai Hind.